Are you planning a DM for the first time? Got a few sessions under your belt, but you still have that pre-session anxiety? Just want to try to make things better for your game? Today we're going to talk about 5 things you can do right now to add to your DM toolbox to make you a better DM. If you have a friend that's in a similar situation, share this video with them. It might help them out too, and maybe help you not be the forever DM. While you watch this video, think of something that helped you along your DM journey. And if I don't mention it, leave it in the comments below. We'll make part 2 and get up to a few more ideas and see if we can continue to spread the love and get everybody in a better game. Number 1, don't be afraid to run a module. We're not all professional writers. Not everybody's got the time to sit and develop a story that branches off and is completely original. Nothing is completely original anymore, I'm sorry to say. And the Wizards of the Coast has provided everyone with amazing pre-written campaigns that anyone can pick up, read a chapter or 2 at a time. I prefer to read it all the way through before I run it, just so that I know everything that's going to happen, and it makes it a little easier. But if you don't have a lot of time, you can go chapter by chapter, prepare before the session, know what's coming for your players, and be ready to go. I also have doubled this up with Roll20, who provides some of these campaigns online. You can purchase them, and it already has all of the maps, characters, stat blocks, and story beats programmed into the game, ready to go, and it makes prep a lot easier if you do not have a lot of time like I do. Hence why the videos are so scarce, as I've got a new job and I'm doing college courses. So if you're a DM like me and you don't have a lot of time, but you want to make sure your friends are having the best time possible, maybe this is something that you should look into. If you're not a fan of Wizards of the Coast, I know there's some people that aren't, you can always look on things like DM's Guild or Drive-Thru RPGs for free, or pay what you want if you don't have a lot of money to spend, or paid modules written by other community members. A lot of the things are great on there, and one of those I'm going to review very soon on the channel called A Most Potent Brew. If it's already out, the link will be in the cards right there. Otherwise, I'll put a link in the description. You can go to try it out for yourself. It's a really great first session. I did it with some new players, and it's amazing. Number 2, you don't have to memorize every rule. While the rules are there to help guide you, the best thing you can do in a situation that you are not sure and you cannot find it in a quick 1-minute Google search is just wing it. Tell them, this is how we're doing it this time. And then take a note for yourself. Between sessions, you can learn, or during a break, you can learn the correct, air quotes, correct way to do it from the Dungeons Master Guide or a deeper search on the internet on how to do things, but try to keep your rulings fair and reasonable every time. So if you're not sure, wing it. The worst thing that could happen is you have fun. I would just say that if you can't find it, you want to make sure that you can keep that ruling consistent. So if you do it this way this time, make sure you do it this way the next time too. And especially if it's with different players, that you're not playing favoritism. Number 3, don't be afraid to use online resources. There's tons of great things online that can help you. The most common one that I've seen people need help with is challenge ratings. I struggle with this still, even using some online resources. So you're going to want to try to get as much help as you can with things. With challenge ratings, you can use things like Kobold Fight Club. You can put in the level and amount of characters that you have in your party and then balance the encounters around that. It will tell you if it's like easy, moderate, deadly. My players are pretty veteran players at this point. They know what they're doing. They're pretty tactical. So I usually go up a difficulty. So if I want something to be hard, I might go to deadly, just because I know that they're going to find a way to cheese their way around the encounter. There's other great things. DM's Guild has campaigns, like I said in the previous point. You can grab modules, homebrew races, things like that. You don't have to make everything on your own. Incarnate, I've done a review on the channel before. It's a great map builder. It helps it helps you amazingly for both battle maps and cities. I use it to build my homebrew world, which once you are ready for, is something that I recommend doing. It's a lot of fun. There's other things like Donjon that will give you random generators for anything from like days of the week to a calendar to actual full dungeons. So there's always something out there to make your life easier, especially if you're just starting out as a DM. You just need to know where to look. There will be links to all the things that I mentioned down below. And if you guys can think of anything else, please leave it in the comments so that other people can find it. I appreciate it. And as I'm sure some of you are commenting now, because I just thought of it as I was editing, the best resource you could use is probably D&D Beyond. It's got the source books if you want to pay a little extra. It's got, I think the player's handbook is all free to use for character sheets. It's a great way to get started. There's another app that I'm going to link that I'm going to show on screen here that I use on my phone. You can build a character in less than 5 minutes. It's great. It helps do everything for you, walks you through it. It's not confusing at all, step by step, and then it keeps everything in a nice, neat location. You can even level up, short rest, long rest. It's great. On the topic of utilizing resources, today's video is brought to you by Found Familiar Coffee. Make sure you're well caffeinated to stay awake and attentive for those long sessions with your players. You can try Found Familiar's great variety of coffee blends that are all fantasy themed with amazing artwork to help keep you refreshed and immersed in the fantasy role playing. Try them out today with code CRITHAPPENS for 10% off at checkout. Now back to the video. Number 4, the players aren't your enemies. I know you can feel like you're on the opposite side of the table when you're behind the DM screen, but your job is to narrate and be a rules or an official. You're there to tell them what succeeds and then what happens if it does or doesn't succeed. The dice help guide that. The players are not your enemies. You're not out to try to kill them. You want to give them a challenge so that it's entertaining and fun, but you're there to help guide them through this story that you're creating together to make everyone just have a great time. There's no winning D&D. I know that some players feel that way, and I'm making a video on that too on how to be a better player, but there is no winning in D&D. You are there to have fun with your friends. If you do need to kill the players, which I do recommend sometimes it's needed, use it as a story point. Don't use it just to be a dick. You're not there to beat the players. Number 5, fudge rolls. While it might be tempting not to cheat, do it. There's been times that players are just down on their luck. Nat 1 after Nat 1. They cannot hit, and you're rolling Nat 20s like crazy. Every enemy is just destroying them. If the pace of the battle is going the way that you don't want it to narratively necessarily, and it's looking like it's heading towards a total party kill that you weren't planning for, fudge the rolls. That's one of the great things about the dungeon or the Dungeon Master screen. If you roll a Nat 20 and it's going to kill 3 members of the party, maybe that dragon missed. Maybe it failed its save to dodge the rogue or the wizard's fireball. Maybe you just help the story along. Some players may hate this, and you can discuss this at session 0 if you really want to. But I know that I've had times where it's like sometimes the same encounter could go with the players absolutely decimating, not taking a single point of damage, but because the dice are just not in their favor that day, a small group of goblins could wipe level 20 characters if it happened the right way. So sometimes you just want things to make narrative sense. Sometimes it's better to just change the role. The players never need to know. The best thing you can do is never tell them that you changed the role either, because that will kill the immersion. But sometimes it's better to just fudge it. Do you think any of these tips are going to help you in your games? Did I not say a tip that you thought of? Leave it in the comments below. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. And there will be a video coming for you to link to your players to make them better players. Until next time, remember, crit happens.